Welcome to another segment of Realist Reviews, where today we will be diving into one of my favorite mascots of all consoles, Crash Bandicoot, and to see if the insane trilogy truly holds up to its counterparts or if it exceeds them. So without further ado, let's jump right into this shit and let's talk about some Crash Bandicoot. First, going into the graphics. Alright, let's just get this shit the hell out the way. This game is fucking gorgeous. Literally, every detail makes me want to shit my pants. I freaking love how all the Wampa fruit look, all the boxes, all the penguins, everything to me is done flawlessly, and it could not have been done any better from the freaking polygons that we got in the original PlayStation. Though, a lot of nostalgia for me from Crash 3 cannot compare any way, shape, or form to the new Crash. I also know that some people are complaining about the new Crash Bandicoot design, and to me, that's just the stupidest complaint ever, because how can you compare what we have now compared to what was there before? Yes, I get it. Nostalgia, everything. You love your old Bandicoot. I love the old Bandicoot, but this new Bandicoot is the way to go, and this is, be honest, the most amazing version of Crash that we've got in terms of graphics. And that's all that can be said for that. This game is freaking easily 10 out of 10 graphics. Looks gorgeous. I know I'm repeating myself, but it is freaking good and it has to be said. Now addressing the sound. The sound in the game is spot on. Everything from Crash 3 is just how I remember it. If not, it's better. And for that, the game developers Vicarious Visions has to be commended for that. And the person, whoever did this soundtrack, I don't remember your name, you deserve a freaking award, because this soundtrack is bumpin', man. It's one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a long time. Now, as stated previously, there isn't much nostalgia for me for the original two games, Crash Bandicoot and Crash Bandicoot Cortex Strikes Back, but I do have a firm memory of me playing Crash 3, beating that thing in 2 nights, and having so much fun with it. But going back to what I said, I was going at these games completely blind, and boy, they kicked my ass. I would have died right there for that extra hit point. No. Fuck! Now, on a serious note, yeah, these games are hard as hell, very difficult, but it somehow has this charm that no matter how difficult it may seem or how far from the freaking ending you think you are, you always still have this little courage because of how, little touches of Crash's death animations, how funny they are, just, it's not that hard, you just misjudge the jump a little bit. It has that charm to just get you to keep on playing, to not give up, no matter how much that stupid Uka mask pisses me off throughout the game because of how annoying he is when he taunts you at the end when you die. Now, like I've said before, I have no previous experience with Crash 1 or 2, so when people try to ask me, how do I feel they compare to the old ones, I cannot really answer to that. All I can say is I do personally believe that these are the preferred versions to go to, from everything I heard with Crash 1, of how so much improved it was with just how it feels, and how much easier it is now compared to how it was before. Because I had so much trouble with Crash 1, I don't even think I would be able to pass it back then, because I had so much trouble with it with just the insane trilogy. One thing that I did notice with all of these games is how previous developer of Crash Bandicoot, Naughty Dog, had took serious progression in each one of their games. How simple the first one was, how they really got under their, they knew what they were doing with Crash 2, and how Crash 3, they just had all the reins let go for them because they were able to do whatever the hell they wanted, and they were confident as hell. And you could totally tell the difference between them just by how they jump, how extravagant the level design is, and how beautiful the textures are from even the old ones. Like, they're not bad games and they hold up pretty good, but still, you can totally tell Naughty Dog really went up and above. Now, Crash 3 for me was the one where I had nostalgia, and that's the one where I can honestly say I can compare that to the original. And Crash 3 for me is preferably played with on the Crash Insane Trilogy. Just like every single one of them, I would prefer everything on the Crash Insane Trilogy just because of how beautiful it looks, just because of how updated it is, and to be honest, nobody's trying to pull out that PlayStation 1 from the old days. But the only problem I have with Crash 3, which I'll get into when I get into negatives, it's a real pet peeve of mine, and I don't get how the hell you messed that up. But Crash 3 to me is the most improved it could have been. It polished it up, and that's exactly what it needed it to do, and I'm happy about that. Now moving on to some negatives. Now this negative is not really much towards gameplay, towards sound, or anything like that. This is a negative more towards of what I wish would have happened, and what I wish would have happened is that the developer Vicarious Visions had pulled something out of their ass to like make a freaking new levels that they made, and not copying or remastering what Naughty Dog did. Whatever word you want to use, copying, remastering, doesn't matter. But that was one thing that I wish they would have done, because I felt like that could have maybe given us some new light in terms of maybe Crash really isn't done after this. Maybe there's still hope that they can do something with Crash, even though I have heard from IGN that the developers are hopefully not giving up on Crash after this, and they said they were interested in probably doing something on their own. So like I said, it's not a negative in terms of what the game was, it's just a negative in terms of what I wish they would have done to kind of give me more hype for Crash, and not for me to believe that this is the last hoorah for the crazy marsupial. Now going on to my last negative, and boy, it's a small one, but at the same time it's a very big one, because as I stated before previously, Crash 3 was the one where I had most nostalgia for. Crash 3 was the one that I really was excited to play once I got to it. And Crash 3 was fine, everything was fine until that stupid Coco jet ski level. What the hell did you do to it? There was nothing you had to change from the original to make it better. It was fine the way it was. And they completely made the controls so loose that if you turn any slight bit, you're gonna miss a box, and you're gonna freaking just say screw it and just go for the ending, which is what I did. And that was really annoying for me that they freaking messed that up. But at the end of the day, you can't change it, and hopefully Vicarious Visions learns from this mistake if they go ahead and do what I think they're gonna do, which I will get into later in the video. So Crash Bandicoot the Insane Trilogy. Is it worth your time? Is it worth you buying? Is it worth you waiting for a sale? I'm not trying to copy whatever that YouTuber is, but you know what? That's what first popped into my head. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy is definitely worth you buying right now. It's not a lot of money. It's $40, which is very cheap in terms of video games. It gives you a lot to play, a lot to do, and it's so much fun. And it gives you a blast from the past, which not a lot of games can give you a lot nowadays. So I highly recommend Crash Bandicoot, and the rating that I give this game will be a solid 8 out of 10. This game is a very solid game, very good, but it is not the best, but is also it's amazing. And that's all I can say about this game, is how far we've come for video games. If you put a side-by-side comparison to the PS1 to the PS4, you'd be amazed of how far we've come in video games. Now, with all that being said, Vicarious Visions, I know you are paying close attention to what we are all saying, and we want this really, really bad, and I think it is time we just all say it. Give us a new Spyro. That is something we all want. That is something we all need. Or make a new Spyro or something. We want Spyro and we want more Crash, because Mario's taking over the world and I don't like it, even though I love Mario, which is very weird. But still, we need more Crash and we need more Spyro. So please do a freaking Spyro Flaming Shane trilogy. It doesn't matter. I want a new Spyro and I want more Crash. Give it to me. I'm greedy as hell. Please, I'm begging you all. Let's get Spyro this remaster, please. Well, that's it for the Crash Insane Trilogy review. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and penetrate the shit out of that like button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.